And yet look today how many lovers you have. Muslim, non-Muslim, Shia, non-Shia. George Jordak says that I was only 13 years old. This, by the way, relates to the idea of knowing the virtues of the Ahlul Bayt. Because knowing them isn't just about knowing their fada'il. It's also about knowing their knowledge. It's about reading their literature, their heritage, their ahadith. George Jordak says that I was 13 years old. He's a Christian man from Lebanon. He's not even a Muslim. He says, my older brother, who was a professor of Arabic grammar and linguistics, came to me and said, I want to give you a gift like no other. The gift is a book named Nahjul Balagha. I want you to take a look at this, skim through it. He said, I took the book. I was 13 years old. I opened it. I read the first page, then the second page, then the third page. Then went on to read Nahjul Balagha 200 times. Do you know a Shia who's read Nahjul? I haven't. Who's read Nahjul Balagha 200 times? Why don't we read Nahjul Balagha, brothers and sisters? Non-Muslims. Professor Gary Legenhausen, have you heard that name before? He's an American professor from New York. He is a graduate of Rice University in Houston, Texas. He taught at various universities. He says that I was teaching at Texas Southern University in the United States when a student of mine who was studying IT came to me with a book. I looked at it, I had never seen it before. The name of the book was The Peak of Eloquence. I opened it, and from the very first sermon of Ali ibn Abi Talib, I knew that this book was by a man who had a direct connection to God. He said, by that time, even though I was born Catholic, but I was not a believer in God. I was an atheist. But when I read the first sermon in Nahjul Balagha, which is a sermon about Tawheed, it's a sermon about Allah and His attributes, he says, I started to believe in God, and I realized that the concoction of God that I had rejected in my mind was childish. I didn't understand who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was. I didn't know what God even meant until I read the works of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the sermon of the Imam in Masjid al-Kufa.